Good afternoon, everybody. Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. January 6th, 2026. And I want to talk to you more about the harvest as we have been watching MADURO, the earth is ripe for harvest. And we had talked about Comet 3I Atlas in the sickle portion of the constellation of Leo during the time of the attack and the capture of Venezuela and Maduro means ripe. Okay, so what I want to follow right now, I want to look at this whole idea of harvest. Okay, we're looking at the harvest, and we've been talking about January 3rd and this attack on Venezuela being a 7-day warning to January 11th. And so let's tie in the movement of the moon through Comet Atlas from where it is on January 3rd, and we'll watch until it arrives on January 11th. Okay, so January 3rd, what we had here is we had a double sign of the moon, the full moon in Gemini with Jupiter, while the constellation of Leo, which contains the sickle, the head is the sickle, 3I Atlas is here in the sickle portion of the constellation of Leo. We had also seen that on January 3rd, the sun was in the constellation of Sagittarius, conjoined with Mars and Venus, and this represents the rider with the bow and the crown, and it was on this day, and Mars, okay, so it's an act of war, and on this day, Donald Trump captured Maduro. Okay, so January 3rd, we have the signs are complete in three different areas in the heavens with what is happening, showing us the harvest. Okay, but I want to go with the full moon here, and I want to follow it because it's going to go right past Comet Atlas. Okay, so January 3rd, we go to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. On the 6th, which is where we are today, the moon is conjoined in the sickle with Comet Atlas. This is tonight. Okay, and we're going to change this. We're going to focus just on the moon. So keep it in the center. And go forward. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. January 11th. Conjoined with Spica, representing the harvest. I believe this is a very powerful sign in the heavens. This is one portion of what I want to show you about the importance of January 11th. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is the alignment of planets. I'm going to show you this from a program called Planets 2026. And this is going to go back to December 25th of 2012. And I have it set at the speed at 0.25. So a quarter speed of what it would normally go. Sometimes it goes too fast and you can't really appreciate the movement of the planets. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go forward from December 25th, and we're going to watch how all the planets are going to be coming into alignment and where they're going to be coming most into alignment. Okay, because there's an alignment of planets that's happening right now, and it's getting better each and every day. So let's just go forward from December 25th at 25% speed. Okay. Okay, so this is January 1st. Now see, it's all coming into alignment here. January 5th. One more day. January 6th. This is where we are today. Okay. 8, 9, 10. This is January 11th. Okay, it's not as though this is an exact science with one day being better or closer than the other. I mean, it's just we're in this window right now that is, starting really, the 4th going forward. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, it looked like once it gets to the 11th, it's moving out again. So, if we focus right on the 11th, right here, it looks like a very important alignment. Okay, January 11th. Let's just look at the possibility of January 11th as a planetary alignment based on not only one important celestial event, but a number of celestial events that are coming together. And I'm going to let Stefan Burns explain this. And he has walked through this whole time frame, talking about the opposition of Jupiter being at its farthest point on the other side of the Earth. He's talked about this conjunction here between Saturn and Neptune also being aligned. Earth being at its perihelion closest point to the sun in its orbit. And so there's all of these are coming together here at one time. Let me let him explain this. And then the other thing I want to look into is what he's going to say about this. This has not happened since 1936. And I want to look at that information as well. So here's Stefan Burns.
So let's look at the planetary geometry that we had beginning of January, because this has been implicated also with high magnitude earthquake activity. We can look at that right here. Here we have our application, the solar system scope, which allows us to see the position of the planets and more. And we see, for example, the Earth right here. And I've been talking about this planetary geometry for more than a year now, because it's very notable. It's the first time we've had this specific planetary geometry since 1936. And we see it very clearly right here. Mars, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Earth, Jupiter, all in a line. So the perihelion of Earth, the closest approach to the Sun that it has every year, is on January 3rd. And then we have this alignment with Venus and Mars doing their double Cazimi, superior conjunction with the Sun, everything. That is going to be on the 7th of January, roughly. You see that this right here is set for the 11th of January, but it really looks nice. Let's even zoom it around like this, maybe even top-down view right here. It really looks nice on the 6th to the 9th. But you see that there's kind of a time range here. Even going from the end of December to the middle of January, you get this alignment. But it's really exact around the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of January. And then the opposition of Jupiter, the part of the year where Jupiter's on the other side of the Sun as viewed from Earth, is on the 10th. So this is 3 celestial events combined. The perihelion of the Earth, the Mars-Venus conjunction on the far side, which is a 1 in 6.6 year event, and then the Jupiter opposition, all coinciding in time. You also notice that we have this alignment here between Neptune, Saturn, and the Sun, heliocentrically. Well, if we go back to today, the 13th, actually let's do this, we see that we have that exact conjunction between Neptune, Saturn, the Sun, and Mercury right now. So it's not just one planetary alignment that you look for. It's when there's multiple that overlap and they're all significant that you start to like raise your eyebrows. Because if you look back through time, significant planetary alignments, especially when there's a clustering of them, seem to provoke certain events to occur on Earth, whether it's volcanic activity, earthquakes. There's also connections with solar activity and solar storms. For example, there was a really notable alignment very similar to what we have coming up in January, just days before the Carrington event. It's actually the same Mars-Venus-Earth alignment, but this time Saturn was also participating. So it's very interesting. So we have this alignment right now with Neptune, Saturn, and the Sun and Mercury simultaneously. And if we go back, let us go back to right before, or actually right after the megaquake that occurred, you'll see a very interesting alignment. Megaquake was on July 29th. Okay, so you actually see that this is already active. But here we have the planetary geometry. Let me move this forward. See if I can get that right there. Here's the planetary geometry on July 29th. We have Neptune, Saturn, Earth, and Mars in a line like this, as then you have Uranus and Pluto in these 60-degree aspects to that line. And it's really quite striking because Mars archetypally represents energy and slicing and dicing and breakage. Earth, of course, is the Earth. Saturn is representative of structure and matter and material. Neptune is the dissolving of things, also of the oceans and more. Pluto represents powerful underground subterranean events. Uranus represents sudden change and disruption. That basically is perfectly archetypally resonant with there being a big underwater earthquake, just like we had with the magnitude 8.8 megaquake. This was the planetary geometry the day of that megaquake.
Okay, the first thing that came to my attention with this alignment is that when you have this alignment with the sun in the middle like this, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, Jupiter, the Earth, and then the moon would be the third celestial body on this side. Even though it's not in this location, I mean, we have a menorah with the sun in the middle. Okay, so I think this is a very significant time frame with this alignment, with the sun in the middle. And we have this formation of this menorah on January 11th. Really, I mean, it's not an exact day, but any time from now through January 11th, 12th, 13th, this alignment is into play here. So I tried to look this up, this information up about this planetary alignment not happening since 1936. And I just searched planetary alignments 1936, and this is what came up. So as we're looking at a heliocentric view with the sun in the middle, then what we have is we have the Earth, Jupiter, Mercury, and then also the moon would be in here on one side, and then on the other side would be Venus and Mars. So we have all 7 lined up again, but there's 2 on one side and 4 on the other with the sun in the middle. And so if we're looking at it from Earth's perspective, then from the Earth we have 4 on one side and 1 on the other. Jupiter's on the other side. So here are the 2 alignments side by side, 1936. 2 and 4, and now in 2025 we have 3 and 3 with the sun in the middle. So more of a menorah with all of the planets.